there.
Okay, and we're standing by now for the race action to start as Michael Stephen will dictate the pace across the line. Waiting for that green flag to drop. As it does, Stephen hits the accelerator pedal and tries to get away from Oranges into turn 1. He's got the drop into turn 1. Oranges is going to go on the attack almost instantaneously into turn 1. Very lucky to survive that, Michael Stephen, but Oranges is all over Michael Stephen like a fat kid on a cupcake. I've always wanted to say that in commentary. I dropped it eventually today. But coming out of turn 3 now into the hip, and it's a tough start there from the McLaren, trying to fend off the attack from the Lamborghini. Remember, they have to make a compulsory pit stop. One mandatory pit stop is required in the entire hour endurance. It can be done at any time of the race, and including during a safety car scenario. So a lot of the drivers will be thinking about that. Silvio and Aldo going at it there for second and third place. Just behind them, Isak Spies, who's of course partnering up today with Jade Goodsight. So most of the teams in this category are driving on their own. These drivers are driving on their own, other than second place at the moment, Charles Oranges. He'll be of course handing the car over to Ari Neveling. And then of course we're looking at car 5, the second McLaren, which is Isak Spies at the wheel. He'll be partnering up with Jay Goodsight. Oh! Nasty into turn 1 just ahead of me here, between the two Scribanti concrete Lamborghinis. A little maneuver up the inside from Aldo on Silvio, saying, listen, I'm coming through. And he made it stick properly. Remember, they have got success ballast. Oh, and Aldo spun out. Aldo spun out at turn 4, just to the right, pan right, pan right. Don't know if you can pick up on that car at the top of the hill, but there is a big spin out there from Aldo Scribanti. He's dropped to the back of the pack. Coming out of turn 4. Watch him coming down the hill now. Stay with that shot. There he is. As, oh man. Just down the hill goes Aldo Scribanti after a big spin coming out of turn 4, and down the hill. He's dropped right to the back of the field now, so a lot of work there to be done by Aldo Scribanti. We saw him get up close and personal with Silvio coming through turn 1, and then tried to fend him off going out of turn 4 and just looped it out all on his own some by the looks of things. So that is Aldo Scribanti at the back of the field now with a bit of work to do. Back to the front end. Michael Stephen from Oranges. Oranges will certainly be feeling the effects of 6 hours of racing, along with his teammate Arnie Neveling. Behind that, it's Silvio Scribanti and Isak Spies. Spies not too far off the back end. Here we see the recovery from Aldo Scribanti, with Kishore Patamba as his first target in sight. Kishore Patamba in the Z4 BMW, Mikhail Patamba in the Porsche. Zulila Leclerc just up the road from them is in a Lamborghini, and Sun Moodley, that man right there, in the Bigfoot Express Freight Porsche. It's race 2 of round 1 of this championship. A brand new Series 2 South African motorsport this year in the South African GT Racing Association. They had their first outing down in PE as a test session, now into full race action. Michael Stephen leading things out on Oranges as they get to the top of the hill. Here comes third place Silvio Scribanti. Behind him Isak Spies in the second of the McLarens out of the LSP group. This Ultimate Outlaws on the side of Michael Stephen's car. The man out front there, that is Michael Stephen ahead of Oranges. Mikhail Patamba pulling into pit lane. Kishore Patamba overtaking Mikhail. Must be a problem on that car. Maybe it's just cried enough for the weekend. It got second overall in race 2 of the 3 hours that have happened here today. Brad Scorer and Mikhail Patamba working hard to secure that second place overall. I said we don't have overall results on that just yet, but here comes a maneuver from Aldo on Letlaka. Exo out of the way, and Aldo squeezes up on the inside. 109.4, fastest lap of the race so far to Aranjis, as he tries to just put a bit of pressure onto Michael Stephen. Certainly one man that can soak up pressure for an entire hour will be Michael Stephen. And we've got 55 minutes to go. That's how it stands at this point in time. Let's just get across to our other Facebook pages and have a squiz. All good on the South African Endurance Racing page, so big welcome to everybody that's joined us on that page too. One more check on ILEB. GT cars now, yes, we are definitely going to be giving those, Eli. Only got a black screen, I'm not quite sure what that is, but we are definitely live on Facebook on all three of the pages. It's going clear and clear here for me, Michael Bardner, so maybe just refresh your page. Get a chance to watch all the action now from the second race of this championship, the inaugural championship for the SAGT Racing Association. We're down in Dezzi's Raceway in Port Shepstone on the south coast of KwaZulu-Natal in South Africa. If you've joined us from all around the world, wondering where we're putting this race action and bringing this race action from. Charles Orange's trying to close things down now, of course, on the back end of Michael Stephen. As I said, if there's anybody that can soak up pressure, Michael Stephen is certainly a man who knows exactly what to do in terms of soaking pressure up, having multiple SA titles under his belt. Oh, and Aranji's out of shape! Oh, that is huge. Aranji's completely out of shape, nearly going through the Marshall point as well. Aranji's got that completely wrong. He's trying to get the... remember, that's a rear-wheel drive Lamborghini. It's not an all-wheel drive Lamborghini. How lucky is he to survive that? Yo, man, that could have got completely out of shape. So, big moment there for Aranjis as he looped it out down into turn 8. He managed to get back on track. I don't know how, but fortunately the car wasn't bottomed out on that banking. The Marshalls were very lucky as well, both of them running for their lives to get out of the way of that big moment that just happened down at turn 8. Also, woo, yeah, okay. Is that how we're going to start this one? Okay, fine. If that's how you want to play, let's play like that. So a massive moment there for Charles Oranjis. Very lucky to survive. Good possibility he may have to go into pit lane to check damage. He's done that. Goes back out almost instantaneously, seeing there's no damage on the car. But it's dropped him right back into about 5th or 6th place. Because San Mudli's gone through. Aldo Scrivanti's gone through. So Oranjis will drop down into 6th place. Yo, that was a huge moment there. One of the biggest ones we had today. We did have a massive crash, of course, in the South African Endurance Series Race 2 between Kusi Veyers and Robin Clark. Rob Clark coming together with Kusi Veyers down the main straightaway, and both cars destroyed in the process. Aldo now trying to make up positions after his little spin earlier in the heat. On the right-hand side, you can see Des Goodside watching from the banking. The man behind Dezzi's Raceway, and of course all the infrastructure that's been put in place here for the South Coast Premier Racing track. Soldier into second, but he's 23 seconds down the road from Michael Stephen. Isak Spies is into 3rd place, and he's got a big mountain to climb. Here comes Aldo on San Mudli. Turn 1 overtaking maneuver, and he gets through. Aranji's starting to close in on Sun. Sun realizes that it's... Oh, no, he doesn't. I thought he was going to give him some room. He shut the door. Sun says, no, hang on a second. This is for position. I don't have to give way to you. You're no longer a lead car catching a back marker. You've got to find a way past me. And that's great stuff from Sun Mudli to go at it and give Charles Oranjis a bit of a run for his money. Aldo Scrivanti, has he been able to get through? and start to pull away. Oh, I was going to say Arungi's has got through. I was going to say if Aldo Scribanti could have just used the advantage that maybe San Mudli has given him with a couple of seconds to play with there, maybe he can just open up the margin to stay ahead of Charles. Charles pushing hard though. Working that aero package. Remember with these Lamborghini GT3 and 4 cars, they've got an aero package that the harder you push the cars into the corner, the better they stick. And I think both Aldo and Silvio are still learning that, whereas Charles Arungi's might have come to almost mastering it. I wouldn't say he's quite mastered it to perfection just yet, but he's nearly there. Diving onto turn 1 and a change up possibly for, close stuff between Aldo Scribanti and Charles Arungi's. 4th place up for grabs here. Aldo's not going to give it up without a fight. Sure, Michael Stephen now controlling things from the front. Remember, they do have a compulsory pit stop. They've got to make 1 pit stop. If you're a one-man team, you've got to get out the car, put 2 feet on the ground, and then climb back in as if you're doing a driver change. And that just gives the teams that have got 2 drivers a chance to have an even playing field. Oh, Aldo gave that up a little bit, opened up the door. Charles said, I'll take it every day. Every day of the week I'll have that. In the Bigfoot Express Freight Porsche into the Southern Loop, the Dunlop Southern Loop here at Dezzi's Raceway. As you watch Isak Spies coming out of turn 1, here comes the battle for 4th. No longer really a battle. I don't know if Aldo's got the same kind of pace as Charles able to run. Rungi's doing the 12s, Aldo doing 14s. 14 dead from Aldo, 14.5 from Sun, and a 12.3 from Charles Arungi's will ensure that Arungi's gets to pull away to about the tune of 2 seconds a lap over the pace being set by Aldo Scribanti at this point in time. Michael Stevens still controls things from the front as we see Aldo Scribanti now trying to just maintain the gap between himself and San Mudli. Maybe close him down for possibility of running with Shaw, but he just doesn't have the same kind of pace. That's Kish Pratamba sitting in 8th place. His young son Mikhail came in and has not gone back out again. The Hulk Porsche from Bigfoot Express Freight is still stuck in pit lane, so I don't think he's going to be back on track. Steven Scribanti Spies. There is Spies into turn 1. Here comes Arungi's. That's the gap now between them, and there's Aldo. But look at the lap times. Best lap time out of Arungi's a 109.4. 11s out of Scribanti, and of course Isak Spies doing 13s at the moment. Inside line from Scribanti diving through there on Kishua Pratamba. Set his sights on Isak Spies up the road. The Clucker into turn 1, no worries there for Zolile. Arungi's has caught onto the back end of Isak Spies, so any second now we'll be looking for them to come onto the main straight. Has he got through on Spies? I think he has. He has. Spies must have gone into pit lane. Isak Spies has gone into pit lane, yeah. He's gone into pit lane for the driver change. He's going to hand it over to Jade Goodsight. Spies comes in, climbs out the car. Jade Goodsight climbs in the car. McLaren going to drop down the standings for now. Might lose a lap or so there to San Mudli. Letlaka crosses the line. 18 deads out of Letlaka. He's happy with that. Being caught by the 5-5 Scribanti Concrete and Silvio Scribanti Racing Lamborghini Huracan. Arangi's also starting to close onto the back end. 110 dead out of Arangi's on that last pass. Making up ground on Silvio Scribanti now, as Silvio comes up behind Exo. Michael Stephen finding it pretty easy to get through on the back markers there. Sun Moody was overtaking relatively with ease by Michael Stephen, but here comes a maneuver from Charles Arangi's now on Kishore Patamba. Take another lap back from him. There you go. Nice move at the same time. Coming out of Silvio to get through on Exo. Silvio Scribanti now hanging on to potential second place, but remember we've still got some pit lane action to happen here. They have to do a compulsory pit stop, these guys. Let's see how the strategies are going to work with that one. Spies has made his pit stop. Patamba coming in now for his. Is that a pit stop or is that a retirement? That looks like a retirement to me. He's pulled into the pit box completely. And looks like both the Patamba cars now out. So Kishore Patamba and Mikhail Patamba pulling out of this one as we see Jade Goodsight back on track now. He just moves over to allow the Lamborghini through. Is there a problem there on the Goodsight car? It has. There's a problem again on the Goodsight car. Isak Spies and Goodsight. Is that a similar problem to what they had in the first one? It looks like it is. Goodsight going to pull to the sideline and allow Michael Stephen through. But just getting on, he's getting off the race line is what he was trying to do there. Just saw Goodsight going really well, and then it just all of a sudden just slowed up dramatically. Same as what we saw in the first race. Might be an issue there with their system going into limp mode. Sometimes those cars do have problems with that. Very frustrating here for Jade Goodsight. Michael Stephen is in pit lane, coming in for his compulsory pit stop. He climbs out the car, shuts the door, climbs back in the car. Very professional man there. Multiple SA champion in all forms of the sport. Comes back in, straps himself back into the belts, and will then be sent on his way. Good possibility that Silvio might take the lead of the race. Charles might go to second, but both of them have still got to make pit stops. So it might be perfect timing here from Michael Stephen to get that pit stop in. Silvio's taken the lead. Michael Stephen comes back out of pit lane. And is he ahead of Arangi's? He is. No, he's not. Oh, I didn't see Arangi's there. Behind the Lamborghini of Exo. Letlaka was just playing a camo role there for the hard-charging Arangi. So Arangi's into second. Silvio Scribanti should have the lead of this race. Both those cars, of course, have still got to do a pit stop. Absol's joined us on the live stream, so is Anna-Marie Pino, Howard Blake, and Michael McDonald, along with Tony Pateras has joined us as well. Thanks very much for the support, guys. We're into 40 minutes of racing still to go here in the second race of round one of the South African GT Racing Association. It's still giving me Michael Stephen as the lead car, but I think that's about to change, yeah. And Ranges will take second and Michael Stephen will slot into third. So I was right on that assumption. So I think we'll change it. There goes Ranges for second, Michael Stephen into third place. There you have it. After the pit stop, he's dropped to third place, but of course both Silvio and Charles to do their compulsory stops. Scribanti still hanging on to fourth place ahead of Sun Mudley. Whatever the issue there is on Jade Goodside's car, it's back in pit lane. Ultimate Outlaws team getting onto that car to try and sort it out. If we get him back on track, he definitely won't want to finish up in pit lane, that is for sure. Michael Stephen going to be trying to apply maybe a little bit of pressure onto the back end of Ranges to force another mistake out of him. Already seen a big moment with him earlier on in this, just after the start of race 2. Michael Stephen just hanging on to the back end right now of these two Lamborghinis ahead of him, knowing that he's got the pit stop in the bag. If he just sits there and doesn't do too much wrong when they go into their pit stops, he'll make up those positions. Aldo's already in. He's decided to come in a bit earlier than probably scheduled. So Aldo Scrimanti comes in for his scheduled stop. He'll climb out of the car and climb back in as per the rules for single driver teams. Into 38 minutes of racing to go. It's a little bit of pressure coming now from Michael Stephen, and maybe trying to force a mistake, as I said, on Charles Aranges, but Aranges has already caused his own hassle, so I don't think he's going to take the fight too badly. Over the line, and another lap completed there for our leader, Silvio Scribanti. I think what Silvio is trying to think of now is putting a little bit of time between himself and Aranges, so when he does make that scheduled stop, or when his team brings him in for his pit stop, he might be able to stay ahead of Charles Aranges at least for the second race of the day. Top three all on 18 laps. They've lapped Aldo Scribanti, who's in pit lane. Emilio Lefaka as well, down in the 5 spot, has got ahead once again of the Porsche of Sun Woodley. Big pressure now from Michael Stephen. Charles Aranges must be feeling the effects of the amount of driving he's done today with the 2 3-hour endurance races that he shared the cockpit with Arnie Neverland in their Porsche, the Vol Fluid Systems Porsche. Is that Jade? Yep, Jade back on track. Jade Goodside back on track there. Silvio's pushing hard, but he's not bridging any gap whatsoever over the second Lamborghini and the McLaren of Michael Stephen. Flicking left and right down through the corkscrew. Last lap was 11.7 from Silvio. 10 dead and 10 dead. Whoa. There is big pressure there from Michael Stephen on Aranges. He's not giving this up. He's going to put the pressure on and try and force a mistake out of Charles Aranges again to secure the second victory. Remember, they are going to be gaining a little success ballast into the next round of the championship, which heads down to East London with the South African Endurance Series at the end of May. Just having a little bit of issues as we see another lap completed from Silvio. Look at Aranges, just with huge amounts of pressure from Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen starting to show a wheel as well. Oh, looks like problems again for Jade Goodside. Goodside with a problem again, about to be lapped and passed yet again by the McLaren of Michael Stephen and the Lamborghini Hurricane of Charles Arundji. He's fighting for second and third place on track at the moment, but of course Arundji still with a pit stop to make. Nice braking there from Michael Stephen. Oh, and let me tell you something, Charles Arundji is starting to feel that pressure. If you start to light up the back end of a Lamborghini at this point of the race, he's certainly feeling the effects of the pressure being applied now by Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen will be reeling in this. He'll be absolutely loving this. Applying pressure, realizing that, of course, Charles Arundji has still got to do a pit stop. He's going to be pressurizing even more now. Lead car across the line, another lap completed. 34 minutes of racing to go. 34 and a half minutes of racing to go. Light flare there from our locked off camera in turn 1. Sure. He wants by, hey? Michael Stephen is pushing to the limit here to get through on Charles Arundji's. I think it's going to be a case of pride there for Michael Stephen to get through on Arundji's. Let's see whether or not he's able to do it. Jerome van Niekerk has joined us, so has Henny Swanepoel. Ches Phillips is there too. Yet again, as you can see, the ailing second McLaren. Oh, he's through. Michael Stephen has got through ahead of Arundji's. So if my team and I was the driver, I would be saying to Charles Arundji, right, time to come in. Let's get you in now that Michael Stephen has got through on you, so you don't lose any positions there to potentially Silvio Scribante. So stand by for a very good possibility of the second Lamborghini on the road pulling into the pit lane. Silvio deciding on another option to get through on Sun Woodley, but the reason being is he's got to get a move on. Arundji has stayed out. Okay, that's a bit of a weird one for me. You've just been overtaken by the man who's going to potentially win this race, and you stay out, where you can secure yourself a second place by coming in. I don't know. Sometimes the strategies are a little bit different. The gamble to wait for a safety car, of course, is also something that he might be thinking about. Jade Goodsight just weaving from side to stay out of harm's way and off the racing line. Knowing the circuit as well as he does, Jade now just trying to avoid getting in the way of the guys coming through at a rapid pace. Stays on the high line, allows first place Silvio to go through, second place Michael Stephen to go through, and then third place Charles Arundji's. Here's Arundji's going to be pulling into pit lane on this one. Let's have a look and see. No, he stays out. Okay. Arundji's has come in for a pit stop, but he didn't get out the car. Well, I didn't see him get out the car. Remember, Arundji's came in just after that crash for a check on the bodywork, but he didn't get out the car. So that's not going to be deemed as a pit stop, in my opinion and understanding of the rules. That may be what he's thinking. Well, I've done my pit stop. In order to have a pit stop deemed as a pit stop, and if you are a single driver, which by the looks of things he is going to be in the second race for today, he's not going to give it to Ari as a second driver there. When he came in for that pit stop, he would have had to get out the car and get back into it. Whether he did that or not, I don't know. Let's find out from Gary van der Spey. Let me send him a quick little voice message. Gary van der Spey, voice of choice here on our live stream feed. Please do me a favor and find out whether or not Charles Arundji's pit stop will be deemed as a official pit stop, because he did not get out the car according to what we saw. Let me know. Exo in and out of the car. Jade Goodsight, unfortunately, looks like they're going to have to retire Isak Spicer's car. That second McLaren is just not firing. Something's wrong on the car. Back on track now with Arundji's closing back on Michael Stephen. 1.1 seconds between them and 3 seconds It's about 5 seconds splitting the first 3 on track. Moving up nicely, 10.5s out of Arunji's just to close the gap down between himself and Michael Stephen. I can hear somebody in the background possibly spinning. I'm not quite sure if it's on track or not. Might be somebody down on the skid pad. Donnie Lotter's just joined us as well. Big welcome to you, buddy. We got just under half an hour to go. 9s and 10s and 11s for the first 3. The Charles closes back underneath the wing of Michael Stephen. Breaking out of Silvio Scribenti to hang on to the lead of the race, but remember Silvio has still got to go in to do an official pit stop. Charles Arunji's, I think, is thinking that his pit stop from his race incident earlier on, where he spun off the track and went up the side of the banking in turn 4, is deemed to be an official pit stop. But in order for it to be an official pit stop, he would have had to climb out of the car, and I don't think he did that. We didn't quite see the whole pit stop, so he may have. I have sent a message down to Gary in pit lane to see whether or not he can find out if that's the case. He has read the message, so we expect a response from him soon. How are you doing, Colleen? Thanks for joining us. On track now for the battle for the lead. 26 laps completed. Remember, we completed 50 laps in the first hour earlier on in the day. We've got 28 minutes to go. Still a possibility of 50 laps to be completed here. Michael Stephen 1.7 seconds behind Silvio. It's 1 second to Charles Arunji's behind him. Here we go. Let's have a listen to see what the answer is. Okay, so confirmation there from Gary van der Spey from ILEB down in pit lane. Our pit lane consultant saying that he has to still do an official pit stop. The one he came in to check the bottom of the car after that crash was just to do that. It was not an official pit stop, which is why he didn't climb out of the car. Ooh, is that going to cost him? I think it could. It's 1 second between himself and Michael Stephen. It's about a second and a half between Michael Stephen and Silvio Scribenti. Michael Stephen, though, is sitting in the pound seats. He has done his pit stop. Silvio and Charles have not done theirs. Aldo has done his pit stop. Zolile has done his pit stop. San Mudli, I think, has been in for his pit stop as well. So, literally, the fight is going to be for second and third, and it's going to be between Silvio and Charles Arunji's, because if Michael Stephen just stays out of trouble right now, that second place will turn into first when Silvio goes into the pits, and possibly a little bit of a margin between the second and third place battle, Charles Arunji's and Silvio, depending on where they come out. Silvio's in. Watch for Charles to come in at the same time. Silvio is in the pit lane. He has to get out of the car, put 2 feet on the ground, and then climb back into the race seat as per a driver change. If you're a single team, a single man or woman team, depending on how you're going to be driving here. But if you're a single member of your team, you have to get out of the car as if you've done an official driver change. We saw the McLaren back on track there just for a glimpse, but it seems that issue is just continuing. San Mudli has caught onto the back end of Zolile Letlaka. Silvio back out on track. Michael Stephen has taken the lead. Charles Arunji's has gone to second. He stayed out for one more lap. San Mudli and Exo going at it there for 5 and 6 on the road. Arunji's must be thinking to himself, when do I come in? What is the strategy here from Srilale Motorsport? To keep him out for so long? I thought they would bring him in as soon as that incident had happened, and of course they did to check that, but it wasn't an official pit stop. And then I thought maybe once he was overtaken by Michael Stephen, he would come in and get it done. Oh, what a tough day in the saddle there for both Isak Spies and Jade Goodside, trying to get that car to work. Unfortunately, it just doesn't look like it's going to be going the way he'd like it. There is your leader. Stephen goes into turn 1. Aranji stays out. Aranji stays out. Now, there's no pit window, so you can come in at any stage of the race to do your pit stop. I think that's probably why Charles is trying to stay out there as long as possible, but he hasn't got a big enough margin over Silvio Scribanti to possibly do the pit stop yet. Maybe he wants a slightly bigger gap so he at least secures second place. Hilton, Nell and Nihal, so big welcome to you guys. How you doing? Hope you've enjoyed all the race action we brought you through the day here on our 3 Facebook feeds. The Voice of Choice, ILEV, and the South African Endurance Racing Series. We've seen round 1 of the South African Endurance Series wrapped up today with the Hesketh 6 hour, and we're now looking at race 2 of the South African GT Racing Association Championship for 2021. Such a good job at this stage, controlling things from the front end. 30 laps completed, 23 minutes still to go. I don't know if we're going to quite make 50 this time. We had 50 in the first lap. First race we completed 50 laps in the hour. Pace probably not as hot as the first race pace overall, I'm talking about. Possibility of 52 laps. Okay, well that's good to hear. So I might eat my words there, and the True Sport predictor might get the better of me. Yeah, gonna have to even it up here. There they go, up over the top. One more time there for Aldo Scribanti. Nice little light flare on that camera angle we've got locked off there for turn 1. Driver's going to find right now is something that I've had to deal with both on a motorcycle and in a car here at the circuit. There are 2 points where the sunset catches you. One of them is, of course, the top of the hill at turn 2, and the other one is coming into the southern loop of the circuit where we see the Scribanti Lamborghini heading out of and down the main straight. Coming out of turn 3. Charles Orangi's up the road, a long way up the road there from Silvio Scribanti. He needs about a lap and a half to get into the pit lane and ensure that he comes back out in second place. Certainly a master tactician in all forms of motorsport, but he's got to grips with this one pretty good as well. And remember, this is the first time out here for the South African GT Racing Association. Seconds up the road to Michael Stephen for Charles Orangi. 1.3 laps for Silvio Scribanti to close things down. He's just waiting for Charles Orangi to peel into pit lane, and you'll probably see a slightly upped pace from Silvio for those 2 laps to try and stay ahead of Charles Orangi's on track. Aldo heading down towards turn 1. Silvio heading up towards turn 9 and 10. on. He's going into turn 6 at the moment. Michael Stephen is now just controlling things from the front. Closing stages here, 20 minutes to go of the hour. Two-thirds done, third to go. Looks like we've got Barbara Piagesti, Tim Sinclair, and Joanne Tavares joining us. How are you doing, Joe? Joining us in the closing stages here of Heat 2. Of round 1 action of the South African GT Racing Association. Part and parcel of the entire adventure, of course, courtesy of South African Endurance Racing Series. Michael Stephen leads things out if you've just joined us, as Gareth Jackson joins us as well. Action Jackson, ahead of Charles Arangis and Silvio Scribanti. Aldo Scribanti in 4th, Moodley and Exo. Isak Spies and Jade Goodside have had to retire that second McLaren into the pit box. So unfortunately they won't be making it up for any more action on track. They're going to join both Kishore and Mikhail Patamba after they retired the Porsche and BMW Z4 earlier on in this race. Louis Scholz is in the house. Wow, hello Car Care Clinic. How are you doing, brother? Joining us here for the last couple of minutes of race action. So a couple of guys that have just come in at the last stages here, probably had some work to do during the day or spend some time with their families. Could have been doing that while you're watching as well, guys. Just let you know, hey, you can project this smart device onto your smart TV and watch it while you're at home with your families. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, say no more. 18 minutes to go. Silvio. Possibilities of second place there for him. When is Arangis going to take this pit stop? There's a very good possibility, and I don't want to say it, but I think Charles Arangis is thinking to himself, that pit stop counts. That's why he stayed out for so long. He is definitely thinking to himself, you know what, I've done my pit stop. I don't have to come in again. But if you don't climb out the car as a single team member driver, it will not be deemed as an official pit stop. If they are, they might be thinking to themselves, maybe Greg's got a good point there. I don't know if that's going to be the case though. We'll certainly see in the next 17 and or so minutes of racing. Arangis up on the inside of Exo as they come down into turn 8 and 9. Son Moodley opening up a little bit of a margin now over Exo since he got through on him earlier on. Michael Stephen out of turn 1 up towards turn 2 he goes. And Arangis now closes down. 12.204 there from Charles Arangis, 9 seconds off the pace of Michael Stephen. Another lap down there for Scribanti. Silvio just ticking the laps off now. He knows he's not possibly going to be able to catch and pass Charles Arangis for second unless Arangis does his official pit stop. Now coming down, time running out with 15 minutes to go. 1:10.3 out of Michael Stephen on his last lap, 12s out of Arangis, 11s out of Scribanti. Silvio not giving up, still still thinks he can catch and possibly pass Arangi's on track. Catching might be within his grasp, but passing may not. Very difficult circuit to pass at. Interesting little note about the two Scribante cars there. Identical race cars, but if you look at the livery on the side and the numbers, Silvio Scribante is the younger of the two, and he runs 55, and Aldo is the older of the two and runs 45 on his car. So opposite way of doing things, I suppose, in that family, but some fun and games with them too. Great guys off the track as well. Really good to see them giving everything they can now in the first round of the South African GT Racing Association. XO was slowing up pretty dramatically coming out of turn 1 there. I wonder if there's a problem on the Lambo for Zolile. Just slowed up big time there and was nearly taken out by the Scribante Lamborghini. Not expecting to see the Into Africa Mining and Stradale Lamborghini coming through turn 1 so slowly. About 13 minutes to go in the 13 car of Charles Arangi's still not found any opportunities of closing the gap down on Michael Stephen. But trying so hard, and my thinking still that he has to come in for a pit stop. If he doesn't come in for that pit stop, of course he will be demoted down and possibly even excluded for not obeying the rules of the pit stop. He will not be able to fight the fact that he came in for a pit stop, because he did. But in order to make an official pit stop, he would have had to climb out the car. And that didn't happen, according to what we saw anyway. Section continuing now, a little bit of a fight as Sunmudi just gave the Scribante car a bit of a run for its money there. Not going to make it easy for him to pass, I'm sure. There you go, Arangi's is in. Alright, so now we get confirmation of my theory. Charles had to come in, and of course he's got to climb out the car, put 2 feet on the ground, and then he can climb back in again to finish the race. But that is going to give Silvio Scribante second place. It hasn't quite worked out on the strategy. Yeah. He's just taking it over right now. So Scribante takes the lead, or takes the second place away from Charles Arangi's. So he's got to try and come out before Silvio comes across the line again. That's Aldo, who's just finished up the lap. There's Michael Stephen. The second black Lamborghini should be coming across the line within the next couple of seconds or so. It might be in time to take second place away from Charles Arangi's. We'll have to wait and see if that's the case. Just looking over compatriot here from True Sports shoulder, watching to see. There's the shot I want. Right, he's coming through the last turn, and still Aranji's in pit lane. He's not been sent on his way just yet, and he's taken second place. So Silvio takes second place. Moves up ahead, and look how close it was. Charles Aranji's coming out of the pit box, right behind him. So with 10 minutes of racing still to go, will Charles Aranji's have a go to try and close down that gap on Silvio Scribante, who's taken over second place. It doesn't say second just yet because it'll only happen on the next pass across the line, because he passed in pit lane. According to the way we understand how things go, very good possibility of that happening now. All four of the top four cars on the same lap, except for Michael Stephen. Michael Stephen, of course, 2 laps up on all those cars. His strategy was to perfection, as always. Aranji's will be pushing hard now to try and bridge that gap between himself and Silvio Scribante. Scribante comes through there as confirmation. A 1:10.2 from Scribante moves him up into second place, and Aranji's drops down to third. He crosses the line. 2:54.616 as he gets to the pit stop. The pit stop basically gives them about 1 minute and 15 seconds to complete the pit stop. Is there still a chance now for Aranji's to get that second place back? He's certainly going to push it to the limit if he can. What do you think, Al Anderson, as you join us now right in the closing stages here of race 2 of this inaugural championship for the South African GT Racing Association? There are about 30 of these cars in the country, so you're seeing 7 of them on track today. There's basically 10 actually on track today. Another 15 that are either still being built or are thinking about participating in this championship. So potentially by the time we get down to East London for the next round of the South African Endurance Racing Series, and the South African GT Racing Association joins us there, may have up to 25 cars on the grid if all of those cars that are sitting on the sidelines right now decide to come and race at the next round. Aldo Scribante is about to be caught and passed again by Michael Stephen. Seven minutes to go. Michael Stephen hanging on. Comfortable margin for him to control from here. 2 laps up ahead of Scribante and Aranji's and his fellow Scribante Lamborghini Huracan of Aldo. Silvio up towards turn 2. Short little squirt down to 3 to the corkscrew. Charles only coming into 1. 6 minutes to go, so we're looking at about 5 laps of race action still to come your way. That might be a big enough margin for Silvio to hang on. As long as he remains in the 11s and the 10s and 11s, Charles not going to have enough time to close that gap down. Michael Stephen certainly got no worries at all. He's got a very comfortable margin. 5 more laps to complete, probably going to be getting into 50 or 51 laps of this race, completed in an hour. welcome there to Hans Teens joining us for the last 5 minutes as well. Byron is the man behind the two Lamborghinis in the Scribanti concrete team. Checking up and seeing whether Byron's done a good job. So he's done not a bad job here on Silvio's car. Potentially put him into second place for race 2. Michael Aldo Zolile. So just circulating to try and finish this one up in 6th place. Sun Moodley still in the 5 spot in the Bigfoot Express Plate Porsche. So it's literally a couple of laps to go of the Dezzi's Raceway to ensure we finish up a great day's racing here. It really has been a good opening round of both the South African Endurance Series and the inaugural racing in the South African GT Racing Association. Nice little sunset shot there over the rise up into the top of the circuit, of course. Sun has now gone away from turn 2's sunset. And of course now what we're seeing is the drivers will experience a bit of sun coming up towards the rise. And it may have just dropped over the top. I don't think we're going to have it into the southern loop at the moment. The southern loop won't be affected by the sun at all at the moment, so no more of the 2 sunset corners that are available at this track. Oh, looks like the Teens boys are in the house here, big time. Hans and Robbie jumping in here in the closing stages. 3 minutes to go. Charles Orangis looks like he's going to settle for 3rd. I don't think he's got enough time to close the gap on Silvio with the pace that Silvio's setting. Yeah, the same lap time, so that's how it's going to finish if everything goes according to plan here for the top 3. Two and a half minutes to go, so probably 2 laps to go in this one. If it is 2 laps, we're going to get 50. Laps completed. 51, it could be a draw. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Double or quits, eh? Michael, Steven and Aldo heading down towards turns 7 and 8. Orangi still 10.6s coming out of that Lamborghini. Such a consistent race car. Can literally bang out 10s all day long. No worries at all. Sun Moodley on his own sim. Still in with a shot of a top 5. Just getting a quick squiz. The checkered flag in the hand there of the flag man. But I would say Michael Stevens going to have to do one more. Possibly even 2, because he's on the 1 minute and 20-second bracket to go. And he's currently lapping in 1:10s. So yeah, he could possibly still be in for another lap. Aldo just looped it out behind me again. Yes, he has. Right behind me at the moment. It's Aldo Scribanti looping the Lamborghini out in the same place as earlier on today. It's just out of our camera shot, unfortunately, but it's right behind our commentary position. A little bit of damage on the front end there you can see of Aldo's Lamborghini after that loop. 24 seconds of race action still to come your way. That will be Michael Stephen starting his last lap. Michael Stephen on the final lap now. Of course, pop up as those seconds run out. Checkered flag will be on standby though, that is for sure. Although it's going to complete the race, and fortunately didn't do too much damage that caused his car to stop. Still some action to happen out on track as we get into the closing stages here of the second race of the inaugural championship, the South African GT Racing Association. Round 1 here at Dezzi's Raceway. Partnering up with the South African Endurance Series. It's been a great partnership between these guys. So looking forward to more of the same as Gordon Barth joins us for the last 40 odd seconds of race action. Michael Stephen will be heading to the line, so we want to pick up on that McLaren. Checkered flag on standby, here he comes. Race 2 goes to Michael Stephen in the Ultimate Outlaws McLaren. Second place, great strategy from the Scribanti Concrete Racing team. Silvio Scribanti going to get second place ahead of Charles Rangi's that man, who unfortunately had to come in for 2 pit stops, one after a crash early on in race 2, I beg your pardon. And then Aldo Scribanti crosses the line. He finishes up in 4th. Exo is going to finish up in 6th. Michael giving a little wave to all of the marshals out there to say thanks for the support. And that of course gives us a chance to also thank Dezzi's Raceway and the organising team down here, all of the marshals and officials behind the scenes, ZA Timing for the timing for today, and of course Medi Evac, who were called into action during the second race of the South African Endurance Series. There it is, all of the cars now across the line and completed all of the race action for race 2 of the South African GT Racing Association. There'll be a little...
Right, good afternoon everybody. This is podium time. I'm down here at the podium for the South African GT Racing Association race day. As we walk in, these beautiful podiums sit there, positions, etc., etc. And I'm going to ask the chairman of SAGTRA Association just to give us a run, while we're waiting for the cars to come in, give us a rundown of his day and the day of SAGTRA, South African GT Racing Association first race meeting. Isak Spies, thank you very much for allowing us to do what we do and bringing your fantastic cars down to the circuit. Your impressions of the race day and everything else went on?
Well, first of all, what a car, yeah. Michael, well done. Okay, what can I say? I'm also happy, I'm a team owner and Michael is first, so great. Obviously, we had our challenges for the weekend, the track is tight and is everything, but I think it proved to be quite well. We had no accidents and everything, so which is for me a number one. And I just want to say thanks to the drivers. They're such a bunch of gentlemen. I mean, they work together. I mean, they didn't. I see the two brothers took each other out nearly, but after all, what a pleasant day. Well done to all the drivers and to everybody, all the officials, camera people, everybody, Dezzi for his racetrack. Yeah, great. Let's go have fun.
Isak, I'm going to say thank you on behalf of the fans, and thank you to you and your association putting the series together. I hope it goes in leaps and bounds and stronger, and we start looking like a European racing series.
Absolutely. I mean, let's hope for it. That's our plan. That's the vision. Let's make it happen.
Fantastic. Oh, all right. He's right here. He's not even sweating. Or is he sweating? I thought it was the water you spat in your face. Michael Stephen, race 1, P2, race 2, P1. Give us your impressions of your last race.
Yeah, I think the first race, Charles just had the better of us. We made a few small setup changes for race 2, and it was so much better. So big thanks to the team and making it possible. And yeah, brought it home, took the win, and couldn't be happier. So big thanks to Isak Spies for making this possible, and look forward to the next round.
Michael, thank you very much. Let me see if I can get a microphone into Silvio Scribanti. He's half undressed. I mean, getting half undressed. And I'll wait for him to towel himself down. This gives you guys just Everybody thinks these cars are easy and it's a lot of fun. It is, but it's also very hard to drive. So, Silvio, eventually got a P2 in race 2, so take us through your race, please.
Yeah, well, on the outlap, I noticed my ABS failure sign came up, so I had no ABS for the whole race, so I was off the pace, but I don't know what happened to Charles. I don't know if he made a mistake or not, but yeah, we're grateful for the second. The car, we definitely did some setup changes. The handling was better, but obviously under braking I was weaker. So I think overall my lap times were slower. But nevertheless, we'll take a third and a second. We're improving, so hopefully the next race will be first.
In other words, it was a good learning experience for you and the team, and hopefully by the time we get to the 21st of May, you'll have a better setup.
Yeah, look, we're improving every second week. We're going quicker. We're learning the car better. We're learning the settings. There's so many settings. It's all new to us, this, compared to what we used to. But we're moving forward. Gradually we move forward, and I think a first place is beckoning very soon.
Super, Silvio, thank you very much. Go and enjoy the champagne. Right, let me see if I can catch hold of a nice young lady over here. And no, I've got to carry on working. I'll get to you just now. Right, so now we get to a guy that's had probably the most seat time of all today. The last calculation I was sitting at was close to nearly 5 hours of seat time today. 2 wins and a third. Are you happy?
Very happy. No, look, Gary, I didn't realize that I was actually, or what I was setting myself up for. I thought, I'm young, I can do this. I'm not so young anymore. Yeah, look, what a race. Michael saw me coming on the start again. And we kept it close for a while there. And and then, I don't know, just a silly mistake. I think it's fatigue or just driver error. But in any case, I went up the embankment. So, it cost me the race, I would suggest. And not just the race. I think, like a second position as well. But kudos to the team for coming back. We did two pit stops compared to one the other people did. And to still get a third shows just the engineering that goes into this car. And, kudos to the team. Love the boys. And, without them, this whole weekend wouldn't have been possible. Winning the endurance and then obviously a win and a third. Can't be more happy. Thanks, Gary.
Charles, thank you very much. To all the race teams, thank you very much for putting on a show. And to all the spectators that watch us today, thank you so much for helping us. And your comments are all appreciated. If you still got comments, please keep on commenting in the comment section. Guys will be online a bit later on today, and they will be able to answer some of the questions and comments. So once again, thanks for watching us. And we'll see you on the 21st of May from East London Grand Prix Circuit for round 2 of South African Endurance Series and South African GT Racing Association. Bye.